He said that Jesus Christ has risen, and he is the open door.
Well, how you doing, everyone? Welcome to this episode of the Cajun Conservative, where we talk about life, we talk about liberty, we talk about the pursuit of happiness, and we show the world that, yes, indeed, Cajuns do have intelligence. Hope you're having a good day, good week, wherever you are located, and whatever time you're listening to this episode, because this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Hope you had a good day, ladies and gentlemen. Look, at the time of this recording, we only have 4 days left, or 3 days if you listen to this on Monday, to Thanksgiving. And with that being said, there will not be a midweek episode this week, ladies and gentlemen. I have been drained, literally. And I was supposed to take a week after the midterm elections, and it's just like everything blew up. And I felt like I shouldn't take a week, not after the midterms. And but as we get closer to Thanksgiving, Brother Just Searching, if you notice, we're off. The Brother Just Searching crew is off. Everybody else from BGS Media, we are doing a few things for the media side tomorrow with uploads and stuff like that. But after that, we're done for the week. And I thought it would be pretty nice just to sit back, relax with the family for Thanksgiving, not worry about politics. I will say this. I will be on my toes. I will still be watching the news, but we will not have a midweek episode this week. Want to spend some time with the family. Want to go ahead and no guest hosts for the midweek episode. So I think Thanksgiving gets overlooked as a holiday. Thanksgiving is real important to me because if you look at the observance of Thanksgiving, people think, oh, it's just a day to take off and be thankful. It goes into a lot more details than that. It was the Pilgrims landing on Plymouth Rock and the Native Americans helping them out, and they took a day both to celebrate. They took a day to celebrate the goodness of God and being thankful for what he has done. He has saved them both and all that good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what Thanksgiving is really the only biblical holiday. Now, you might say about Christmas and everything. If you want to know more about that, go check out Brothers Just Searching's episode on Christmas. I celebrate Christmas. I don't celebrate Christmas per se. I celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. And look, prime example, my son came up to me this morning. He's like, Dad, I want this for Christmas. Dad, I want that. And I asked him, I said, well, what is the importance of Christmas? Why are we celebrating Christmas? And his answer was 110% correct. He said, we are celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. I agreed with him. I said, son, you're absolutely right, but we shouldn't be worried about gifts. And look, I don't know if we're going to get what he wanted, but at the same time, we don't focus our thoughts on the gifts. We focus on the gift that was given to us on Christmas. But on the separate note, Thanksgiving is around the corner. And since I'm not going to be here for the Thanksgiving, for Thursday at the time of this recording for Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving to all you faithful listeners and newbies that are listening today. Please go ahead, tongue-tied here, consider on hitting the like button, hitting the follow button. Appreciate y'all guys more than you know. I am thankful for every single listener of this show. Well, Isaac, you're not that big of a podcaster. Hey, I'm big in y'all hearts, I hope. And hopefully one day you could say I was the grassroots of this worldwide podcast, I guess. But I appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you for every like. Thank you for every share. Thank you for every subscription. Everything, ladies and gentlemen. I am honored that you think of me as a good form of opinion, and I appreciate every single one of you. I am thankful for you this Thanksgiving, and we might talk more a little bit about Thanksgiving at the end of the show. We'll see where we go at today. But we have, ladies and gentlemen, I think of certain people that talked about this woman on a regular basis. Sean Hannity, glad he gets to see this. Unfortunately, the great Rush Limbaugh, the greatest that ever did this on talk radio and any type of talk form on this. But But we had some great news on the 17th, ladies and gentlemen. And it was Thursday, the 17th. News broke. It was all over the world. And let me say it like this. People in the media was a lot nicer to this woman than I'm probably going to be tonight. And it is Nancy Pelosi will not seek job at top White House Democrat. This is from the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire, Speaker Nancy Pelosi, California, Democrat of California, 82, announced Tuesday she will not seek re-election at the top Democrat in the House, but will remain in Congress. Pelosi, who emerged as the Democrat leader during the George Bush administration, made the announcement from the House floor in a speech that touched on Democrats' democracy, diversity, and elections, and that was met with irregular rounds of applause by Democrats. She mentioned that she would continue to represent the people of San Francisco. And this is a quote from Nancy Pelosi. For me, the hour has come for a new generation to lead the Democrat caucus that I'm so deeply respect. So I so deeply respect Nancy Pelosi. That is a brief term. Now, she did talk about her husband. She talked about the history. She talked about her husband briefly. President Joe Biden made a statement immediately after the announcement, calling her one of the most consequential speakers in the history. Ladies and gentlemen, the wicked witch of the West has resigned, or is not seeking House leadership. And ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to be honest. Look. To be honest with you, this is why she did it. She lost the House. I bet you dollars to donuts that if the Democrat Party would have held on to the House of Representatives, which they almost did, she would have been nominated for another House Speaker role. Now, this goes into a lot more detail than just her saying, "Hey, I am too old. I don't want to do this no more." It is basically, ladies and gentlemen, she knows she is done. She was supposed to not be House Speaker for this long anyway. Why do I say that? Because the Progressive Squad, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ilhan Omar and all these other women, well, I say women, yeah, mostly women, all these progressive women, or these progressive Democrats, did not want Nancy Pelosi. Don't you remember when they won the House? It was a big controversy of should we let Nancy Pelosi or should we put somebody else? And Nancy Pelosi, as being a deal maker she is, she went ahead and she got the House speakership by telling them, look, if next time around, I won't do it. Now, she did become Speaker of the House one more time because that was 2 years ago. And now she is stepping down. Now, this goes into whole questions about why she's stepping down. But at the same time, what is she going to do? Well, she says she's going to represent the district of San Francisco. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are the House Speaker, you aren't just supposed to represent San Francisco. You are the House Speaker. You're supposed to address the nation. You're supposed to address your party. You're the House Party leader, or you're the House Minority leader. Kevin McCarthy has done, in my opinion, a good job until now. Now we have some people that might think different, but at the same time, you have these leaders. They ain't supposed to support just their caucus. They're supposed to support the national party as a whole. And ladies and gentlemen, did Nancy Pelosi do this? No, she says, I'm representing San Francisco. Well, now she can. Now she can solely focus on what San Francisco wants and try to apply that to the House. But as a House Speaker, she's supposed to look at the overall party. Now, has she done that? Absolutely. In my opinion, because what Democrats push in San Francisco, 9 out of 10 is what Democrats really want to push in all over the country. President Joe Biden says she's the most consequential speaker of our time. That is because she has pushed through a lot of legislation that didn't really help our nation, but really hurt our nation. She has been behind several try attempts of several abortion bills. She has done a lot of things that lean more to the left than I can count. So am I happy she's gone? Yes and no. Isaac, what you mean yes and no? Because, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to see who comes up next, which it has been confirmed, or he's trying to become the next in line. Jeffries is a front runner for the House Democrat leadership. Breitbart. Representative Hakeem, Hakeem. That's all I'm going to say. Jeffries appears to be the front runners to replace Nancy Pelosi as the House leader, even though he is an election denier. Now, this is Breitbart that is recording this. But Jeffries, from this great city of New York, well, it used to be this great city of New York, is trying to take over Nancy Pelosi's spot. Now, this is why I'm going to go ahead and bring this in. He is an election denier, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, no, not a Democrat. No, Democrats are never election deniers. They believe all elections are fair and balanced. Well, that's their argument since 2016, but I mean, not even, no, since 2020, correction. But before 2020, Democrats had a good track record of saying that elections were stolen or elections were taken away or, because of voter suppression. And Jeffries isn't no different, ladies and gentlemen. The article wrote from Breitbart, as the lawyer from Central Brooklyn, Jeffries is a self-described far-left Democrat who appears to be angling behind the scenes to win the Democrats' House leadership position. He first assumed office in 2013 and has served as the chair of the House Democrat Caucus since 2019. Jeffries, presumably successful and notable because Democrats and the establishment have continued labeling some Republican politicians as election deniers. The same standards does not appear to be to Jeffries. Jeffries has denied the outcome of the 2016 election. In 2020, Jeffries tweeted, now this is a tweet from Jeffries, that former President Donald Trump will never be accepted as a legitimate president. Keep putting history will never accept you as a legitimate president, he tweeted at Trump. So, ladies and gentlemen, now this is somebody. Now let's go back to the midterm elections. The Democrats went ahead and pushed MAGA Republicans, and when they won their primaries, went ahead and called them election deniers. They should not be in office because they're election deniers. They should have no part of leadership. But Jeffries, according to a tweet, back in November 24th, 2020, said that Trump was not a legitimate president. He questioned the 2016 election. Now, I will say this. He has every right to. You can believe the sky is red. The sky is probably not red, but you can believe it's red. Now, facts points in other positions. I understand that. You can think whatever you want about an election. But according to the Democrat standards, this man should not even be in talks for leadership. Now, this is where I'm going to come to a point. This is why I say yes and no, that I believe Nancy Pelosi, I'm happy she's gone. But who's going to be in next? Because we had, and this is from this morning, because doing some research, Jeffries vows to defend Biden administration against GOP probes. Now, this is from CNN. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this, but the Republican Party has announced they're probably going to do some investigations into Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. But Jeffries, without even listening to facts, listen to this right here, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to the facts. Is going to go in blind and say, look, they didn't do nothing wrong before an investigation has ever happened. Also, Jeffrey says he wants to find common ground with the GOP. The problem with it is, ladies and gentlemen, there is no common ground with the Democrat Party right now. The Democrat Party is so left that they go into foul line. If this was a baseball scenario, they'll go into a foul line. There is no common ground with the Democrat Party right now. None whatsoever. Because the Democrat Party is this. It's our way or the highway. It don't matter if we're leading. It don't matter if we're in the minority. It don't matter. It's our way or no way. And if you don't do what we tell you to do, well, we're just going to label you a homophobic or a bigot or a racist or whatever they want to label us. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no common ground with the Democrat Party. And Jeffries assuming that there is showing me that he wants to bully the Republican Party. Because, ladies and gentlemen, look, there was a reason why the House flipped by a razor-thin majority. But, ladies and gentlemen, the House flipped because Americans are tired of the Democratic Party, especially in the House, however. Now Jeffries might be the greatest minority speaker in the world, but the minority leader. But, ladies and gentlemen, there is no common ground. But you see how he's coming out with this, ladies and gentlemen. Jeffries is a far left progressive Democrat, and that scares me. You think Nancy Pelosi has brought us to the threshold of being communistic? This man wants us to be socialistic, and he wants us to be communists because he is a progressive. He is. Now, ladies and gentlemen, their elections, I don't know when their elections are. I know the Republicans have selected all their leaders and all this stuff. So am I happy Nancy Pelosi's going? Absolutely. Now, look, I reported a while back that there was rumors that she was supposed to be the Italian ambassador. And I was hoping, I want Nancy Pelosi as far away as this country as possible. But it sounds like she wants to stay in the role of a congresswoman. How long does Nancy Pelosi take till she says she retires? She's 82 years old. And look, I'm glad she's gone. That is one of the blessing things that has ever happened to us as a nation. Nancy Pelosi does not have no more power that we could see. But she says she has faith in the new leadership that's coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't have faith in that. Because unfortunately, this isn't your old style Democrat Party. I use, for example, my grandfather. My grandfather was a stark Democrat. Voted Democrat, voted blue all his life. But ladies and gentlemen, this man, what I remember him, was one of the most conservative men in our area. He got land. He saved his cash. There is no more such thing as a moderate Democrat. And unfortunately, I think Nancy Pelosi passing on to the new generation of Democrats is going to hurt our nation more if they take leadership, because they're going to put progressive, socialistic ideology and ideas in this country, and it's going to weaken our nation more than what we have now. Ladies and gentlemen, you think it's bad now? Let these Democrats that are taking over for Nancy Pelosi run our country. I'm going to say, you think it's bad now. It'll probably get worse. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take a few-minute break. We'll be right back after this short announcement from Hayes' Dump Truck Service. You have a good one. We'll be right back in a few minutes. How you doing, everyone? Isaac here. I'm the Cajun Conservative, and I want to thank Brother Lanny Hayes from Hayes' Dump Truck Service for their generous support of the Cajun Conservative and Brothers Just Searching. Hayes' Dump Truck Service serves the Lafayette and surrounding areas. If you have any job that you need done, like cleanup or hauling material to your job site or your home, we haul limestone, we haul sand, we haul topsoil, any type of material you need. If you're in the Lafayette and surrounding areas, please call Brother Lanny Hayes at 337-852-8043. Remember, Hayes' Dump Truck Service, where Jesus is Lord of the company.
Cleansed and made us whole. Not one hoof, not one soul.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the second segment of this week Cajun's Conservative Show. Like I said, no show on the 24th of November. Just giving you a heads up. Let everyone know that. The reason being, I want to spend a little time with my family on Thanksgiving. I really don't want to worry about politics. And I'm going to be watching, like I said. I always am. But I just want to make sure that, I want to be focused on my family this week. And we'll jump right back on the 27th. I'll be in the studio on the 27th of November, episode out on the 28th of November. So as I was talking about Jeffries, I kind of briefly mentioned this, and I instead of going full throttle into it, I wanted to save for this segment to start it off. 3 days ago, which would be Thursday, House Republicans allege Biden directly involved in business dealings with son Hunter Biden. And Republican Representative James Comer with Jim Jordan alleged at a press conference Thursday that President Biden was actively involved in overseas business dealings along with his son Hunter. Now, Comer quoting a whistleblower assessing that the Biden family flourished and became millionaires by simply offering access to the family. Who's Joe Biden directly involved with Hunter Biden's business dealing, and is he compromised? That was a question that Jim Comer asked. That's our investigation, Comer said. Comer is the incoming chair of the House Oversight Committee, and Jordan is expected to soon chair the Judicial Committee. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the reasons why the Democrat Party, this is why the Republicans are happy that the House of Representatives flipped. I know when the episode after the midterm election, I was very depressed. I was upset that this wasn't a big wave, but we still have the House, and we can still start looking into this stuff. Now, this is why. Now, this by what this happened. This is why Jeffrey said that he's going to go ahead and back the Biden administration. First off, there ain't been no investigation yet. The Republicans have no proof that Biden did anything. There is speculations. There is people that have come up with theories that I will say this. 9 out of 10, I believe that there's a lot of things that Biden probably knew Hunter was doing. That is my personal opinion on this. Now, the Republicans want to investigate. They've been asking for investigations for 2 years since Hunter's laptop has come out, the laptop from hell. So now James Comer and Jim Jordan are going to go ahead and start looking into this, which they promised they would. And ladies and gentlemen, look, it's the same thing with Trump. And I've said this, the raid at Mar-a-Lago, everybody's saying it was wrong. I understand it. I believe it was wrong too. But if Donald Trump did do something wrong, he needs to be held accountable. Same thing with Biden. I don't care if it's a libertarian. I don't care if it's a Republican. I don't care if it's a Democrat. If you did something wrong, you need to be held accountable. And look, ladies and gentlemen, this is what gets me upset about Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries. He is saying that, well, I'm going to back the Biden administration no matter what. But what if the investigation comes out that Biden did do something wrong? Now, according to the White House, of course, the White House says that this is a conspiracy theory. White House GOP Biden, House GOP Biden's family investigation full of long debunked conspiracy theories. Well, how do we know this? How do they know that? That has been long debunked. There ain't been no investigation. Why? Because the Democrat Party and Joe Biden says that it was debunked, or it was Russian collusion. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Okay, I'm gonna compare this to something right here. Well, let me read what the White House says first. The White House accused congressional Republicans of promoting a long debunked conspiracy theories in a sweep response after House lawmakers alleged that President Biden was actively involved in overseas business dealings along with his son Hunter. Instead of working with President Biden, see now, look, let's stop right there for a second. See, instead of y'all working with us, y'all want to go ahead and bring us down. To address important issues to the American people, like lower costs, congressional Republicans' top priority is to go after President Biden with political motives. Attack choke full of long debunked conspiracy theories. Ian Smith, a spokesperson for the White House counsel office, said Thursday. What they're doing with President Donald Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, there's two things right here. One, the Democrats didn't want to work with Donald Trump. Their top priority was to get him out of office and to impeach him, which they did twice. Now, he didn't get removed from office, and one of them impeachments was a botched impeachment. It wasn't even constitutional. He was going out the door. But the Democrat Party, for the 4 years, no, longer than that, for the last 7 years, give or take, have been attacking Donald Trump. Why? For political motivation or political motives to stop this man from being president of the United States. Because why? They didn't like him. And they thought, and in their mind, his policy sucked. But what are the Democrats are doing right? Oh, instead of working with Joe Biden. You see how the Democrats do this, ladies and gentlemen? When they're not in power, they accuse us of not working with them. But when they're in power, all they tell us is, oh, it's our way or the highway. And also talking about lowering costs and everything like that. Well, they brought up the cost of food. They brought up the cost of cars. They brought up the cost of anything. A lot of stuff. But they want to go ahead and attack him with conspiracy theories. Russian collusion wasn't one. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, look, I hope this is a legitimate investigation. Not like the January 6th committee. Because we can always throw this in there too, by the way. January 6th committee is one of the most serious. No, they're not. There's 2 Republicans that impeached Donald Trump, and the rest of them are Democrats that has a proven history of trying to stop Donald Trump. That is not a legitimate investigation. I hope this isn't a legitimate investigation. I hope the Republicans let the Democrats talk to the witnesses and let them cross-examine the witnesses. Because if not, I'm going to call this what it is as well. The Republicans will be a botched investigation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, but why they're calling this also long debunk? Why? Because the Democrats and the Bidens say it is false when we have the laptop from hell and we have tons of evidence showing that Hunter Biden did use his name. Just saying. On this note, it's kind of funny. Hunter's still using his daddy for political and for favors, political favors and favors in general. His daughter got married on the south lawn of the White House. You know how hard that is to get a wedding done at the White House, and especially on a lawn that is not supposed to be done by anybody? And Hunter Biden don't use his daddy's name for nothing. Oh, that poor boy. Man, he's so innocent. And that's what the media. And look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be blunt with you. I'm probably, Fox News, Newsmax, and a few others are probably going to be the only ones that cover this. We're going to be the only ones that cover this right here. Because, see, you cannot let the Bidens look bad. All right, so let's continue on with investigations. This is from Fox News. This was done on the 18th of November, which was Friday. Attorney General Garland named special counsel to investigate Trump on Mar-a-Lago documents on January 6th. Merrick Garland on Friday named a special counsel to investigate the entirety of the criminal probe into the unlawful retaining of national defense information at former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. Fox News has learned. Garland appointed former Justice Department officer Jack Smith, the Rhodes Smith, a former assistant U.S. attorney in chief to the DOJ Public Intelligence Section, will oversee the investigation into Trump's retaining of classified documents after leaving the White House and whether the former president obstructed the federal government investigation into the matter. Smith is also tasked with overseeing the investigation into whether Trump or other office and entitled infringe with the peaceful transfer of power following the 2020 presidential election, including the certification of the Electoral College vote on January 6th of 2021. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you read between the lines here, but let's go back to the last story when I was just talking about the Republicans investigating Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. And they said, that's politically motivated. Instead of working with Joe Biden, it's politically motivated. This is too. Because, see, a lot of people are going to say, oh, yes, good job, Merrick Garland. Yes, good job. Remember the man that called parents at school board meeting domestic terrorists? Appoints a special prosecutor just not to look at the documents found at Mar-a-Lago, but also to look at the interfering with a peaceful transfer of power. Ladies and gentlemen, this is kind of funny that this special prosecutor comes after Donald Trump has announced he's running for president. Isn't this politically motivated? Because see, let's go deeper into a special counsel, ladies and gentlemen. A special counsel looking at Donald Trump can be looking at January 6th and at these documents, but they can look at anything. Don't you remember when Robert Mueller was assigned a special counsel for the Russian probe, and he went ahead? I believe that was There had a lot of things that came out about Michael Flynn. They had a lot of things come out about Steve Bannon. And why? Because a special counsel is just not limited to that investigation. If he feels, if this special counsel, Jack Smith, feels that he can go into another way to get a conviction, he can. A special counsel does not have no legal bounds. Oh, well, how you know that? Because Robert Mueller and the investigation on the Russian collusion, ladies and gentlemen. This right here. And remember, Biden and this is hypocrisy at its finest. This is just hypocrisy at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, you want to work with Joe Biden. You just want to investigate him and make him look bad and make him like you're doing this for political motivation and political motives. But we're going to go after Donald Trump with a special counsel because we care about the American people. And no, they don't. Ladies and gentlemen, this right here is for them to find dirt the legal way. Because, ladies and gentlemen, they raided his home. That's classified information. We cannot tell you what we found. Well, when Donald Trump asked for a special master, they fought it tooth and nail. They're still fighting it tooth and nail. Now he finally got his special master, and you don't hear nothing about it all of a sudden. But now they want to go ahead and get this special counsel. Ladies and gentlemen, this is to find dirt on Donald Trump. Why? Because he's running in 2024. He made the announcement on Tuesday, November the 15th. And just so happened, is that coincidence? I don't know. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm trying to look at everything I'm seeing. And it's just kind of funny that Donald Trump announces on November 15th of 2022 that he is running. And on November 18th, Merrick Garland all of a sudden thinks he is politically biased to look at this. So I'm going to go ahead and appoint a special counsel to see what Donald Trump was doing. Ladies and gentlemen, there's something rotten in Denmark. Now, on that note, what was Donald Trump's response to this? And look, this was blowing up my phone all day long on Friday. But former President Donald Trump says he will not partake in a special counsel investigation, slammed as the worst politicizing of justice. Donald Trump is thinking the same way I'm thinking right now. Former President Donald Trump blasts the Justice Department's appointment of a special counsel to take over the investigation related to the presidential records and January 6th, telling Fox News he won't partake in it and calling it the worst politicization of justice in our country, while urging the Republican Party to take action. Now, this is Donald Trump's quote. Well, he told Fox News Digital, I have been going through this for 6 years. For 6 years, I have been going through this, and I am not going to go through it anymore. Trump told Fox News Digital in an exclusive interview Friday, shortly after the announcement, and I hope the Republicans have the courage to fight this. Donald Trump continues, says, I have been proven innocent for 6 years on everything, from fake impeachments to former special counsel Robert Mueller, who found no collusion, and now I have to do it more? Trump said, it is not acceptable. It is so unfair. It is so political. And then he made the quote, I am not partaking in it. Trump told Fox News, I'm not going to partake in this. Trump, who announced his 2024 presidential campaign on Tuesday, said it is not even believable. Look, I just said I did. This is the first time I read this quote from him. Ladies and gentlemen, this man has been fighting it for 6 years. And I mentioned this when at the first part of this segment when I was talking about the investigation into Biden and Hunter. Ladies and gentlemen, these people do not know when to stop on Donald Trump. Donald Trump lives rent free in their head. Donald Trump can say I sneeze on an airplane and they're going to try to ban him from all air flights. Donald Trump can do the most innocent thing, ladies and gentlemen. Clip his toenails and they're going to try to impeach him for it. But Biden and his son have crooked dealings, allegedly. Oh, you can't investigate that. You're going to work with the president. But this man has been fighting for longer than 6 years, in my opinion. They've been fighting him ever since he's been on the campaign trail. But that is not political. This isn't politically motivated. I agree with Donald Trump. He said he's tired of it, ladies and gentlemen. He's tired of this political mess. And look, even in this, Donald Trump could come out and say, "Look, I do not want to run for 2024. I'm gonna shut up." Donald Trump can say, "I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna stay home. I don't want nothing to do," and they still will go after him. Why? Because he put a wrench in their gears and it stopped the flow of their socialistic ideas from being played out in America. Donald Trump, 4 years stopped years of what the Democrats were trying to do. And right here, ladies and gentlemen, look, the news media is going to report this before they report Hunter and Joe Biden and the Republican investigation. They will. Look, and I said this, ladies and gentlemen, look, the Democrats have 2 months more in office to where they're going to try to cram everything in the House and try to get it to a 50-50 Senate, hopefully 50-50 Senate. They're going to cram and they're going to do everything in their power, especially on the January 6th committee. Then, look, that's a whole nother thing, too, in the last couple of minutes I have. You got to realize the January 6th committee is gone. They will not be doing no more investigating on it. Donald Trump probably, the subpoena they gave them is all Donald Trump could do is wipe his rear end with it. But see, a special counsel continues all the investigation. Ladies and gentlemen, Democrats are some crooked son of a guns. But that's okay if Donald Trump goes back to Twitter, which Elon Musk has given him his platform back. He restored his Twitter rights, as you could say. So we can maybe get some tweets from Donald Trump along with Truth Social. Who knows? On that note, we'll be right back after this short break.
Cheers and good on you, boys and girls. My name is Scott Ford, and I have a show on Rumble. It's the Scott Ford Show, all in one word, the Scott Ford Show, and it's on Rumble. And I also have a motivational success show on YouTube. So go ahead and subscribe and ring that bell. That would mean a lot to me. Enjoy your life. Thank you, Isaac. God bless.
You're my peace of mind when this old world seems to get me down.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the third and final segment of this week's episode. It's been a long time, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't have a midweek episode, so this is weird. I'm like this episode, and I'm this week's episode. So we will be back on the 27th in the studio recording for the 28th episode for the Monday, the 28th of November. That'll be the last episode of November, by the way, because December 1st will be the first episode of December. Ladies and gentlemen, that is I'm just thinking about this too. November 2022. I was talking about the midterms all year long. We're almost into 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, time flies. I've been doing this now for 2 years. The Cajun Conservative, not my podcast, I guess you could say career, hobby, whatever you want to put it. I've been doing this now for 2 years, this podcast. And I'm just blown away. I didn't think about this either. I didn't even have a 2-year anniversary episode. There was so much going on. Well, and I would have to go look at the dates. No, not right now. Not right now. I'll look at it. I'll make an announcement. Whatever. But 2 years. Wow. Time has flown by, and I have, this is the thing, I have not ran out of subjects. When you start thinking, my goodness, what am I going to talk about? And look, boom. There's just a lot of stuff. And look, 2023, I'm excited. I think 2023 is going to be the best year Cajun Conservative ever had. We've a lot of accomplishments. Like I said earlier in the show, I'm thankful. And just a lot of accomplishments. We went on YouTube. We went on Rumble. We went ahead and did all. We went out to Facebook. We have a TikTok. We have Twitter. We have all kind of stuff, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just excited to see what the next year has in store. But until now, let's finish 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna shift everything back. Well, first off, before we go to that, let's talk about Twitter a little bit some more. Yes, Elon Musk has reinstated Trump to Twitter. Will Trump use it? A while back, he said, no, I got Truth Social. And people have been jumping on that. The media, however, says, well, this is I don't know why they're promoting Truth Social. Truth Social is bad and people ain't going on it. And ladies and gentlemen, it was the highest app for a while on the App Store on iPhone, and then when it went to Android, it hit number 1 in the Google Play Store. You don't do that too much. And I think Truth Social is doing better than what the media is putting it out. And unfortunately, Twitter is getting some bad rap because there's thousands upon people, a lot of people leaving Twitter. And the main focus is, and look, this is the problem with liberals. Liberals, when they want to cancel something, they want to obliterate you. They just want to get rid of you. See, Republicans and conservatives. I'm gonna use for prime example. I don't like MSNBC. I don't like NBC at all. The only time I watch NBC, CBS, and ABC is maybe to watch a college football game or NFL game. And to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I watch, because today at the time of this recording is Sunday, and we're gonna drop this on Monday. I watched 5 minutes of football, 5 minutes, and look, I was excited. The Saints won, yay! But I didn't watch the game. Now, I'm not boycotting. It's just I got so much stuff going on, and really, back in the day, I would stop everything I'm doing to watch football, and I'm not doing it no more. But going back to this, I don't like watching CBS. I don't like watching ABC on news. I don't like none of that. But I turn them off. I don't tell people, hey, never watch CBS or CNN. Now I do that on here, but because they lie. I'm sorry, they lie. But I don't want them to be off. Look, if they get off the air, hey, I'll be happy. But at the same time, it won't hurt me. It will, them staying on. But the left, like Fox News, cancel Fox News, take them off the air. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't do that as conservatives. The left wants to obliterate anyone they want to cancel. We just say, hey, we're going to change the channel. But they want to cancel the channel. And Twitter has been getting bad raps, ladies and gentlemen, especially since Elon Musk has come. But liberals are jumping off of it because they don't like free speech, apparently. Or on their argument, we like free speech, but we think you shouldn't say certain things on the platform. Well, then you're limiting my speech. That's a whole other conversation for later on. Okay, so I want to talk about a January 6th committee member. And no, it's not a Democrat. And no, it's not Liz Cheney. It is Adam Kinzinger. And he is a former rep from Illinois. He was, in his words, district out. Now, this is the funny thing about being district out. Yeah, you can be district out, but find a district you live in and run again. Well, I wouldn't have had a chance. I would have lost against a Democrat. That's Adam Kinzinger's argument. But ladies and gentlemen, I think in the district that he lived in, Republicans wouldn't vote for him anyway. Because even in a liberal state like Illinois, there's a lot of Republicans that like Donald Trump. And he was one of them that says, I'm a Republican, but votes every time with the Democrat Party. Same thing with Liz Cheney right now, ladies and gentlemen. Liz Cheney has failed. I'm not gonna endorse an election denier, but everybody she's endorsing is with the Democrat Party. That means she'll change her party and run as a Democrat, but she won't do that because her daddy's Cheney. But anyway, so why am I bringing this guy up? Well, Adam Kinzinger, early in the week, well, last Wednesday, that would have been the 16th of November, went ahead and went on MSNBC's Deadline. And he said on that the January 6th House Select Committee helped stop the red wave in 2022. Nicole Wallace said the GP is now in disarray. McConnell just beat down a challenge from Senator Rick Scott to be the minority leader, and Kevin McCarthy faces a challenge as well as he is pursuing the speakership, all while the disgraced ex-president. You see how these now look? These supposed to be journalists, by the way. Now I don't know about Deadline. I never watched it. So this might be like Sean Hannity, where it's an opinion piece, and they have their opinion, they can bring it out. And this person, Nicole Wallace, might think, hey, Donald Trump is a disgraced ex-president. But anyway, announces a big bid again to run for 2024. Adam Kinzinger, in a new op-ed, writes Trump has proven him woefully unfit to hold the office that he sold and shown he can't be trusted, and put the American people interests ahead of his own. Worst of all, a return of Donald Trump in 2024, what could arouse America's democracy, potentially rendering to its irredeemable. So if Donald Trump, now this is the argument they're going to use. They're probably not going to say steal no more, because that has been pulled, that has been dissected and hurt so much by mainstream media and the Republicans calling their bluffs and everything like that. They're probably going to say this is a threat to democracy. Donald Trump wins all the threat to democracy. We won't have no more democracy. Wallace asks, tell me what you make of the results on Tuesday. Now, she's asking Kinzinger this. Now, I'm going to read his quote. In terms of the results, it was fascinating. It was fascinating. Wait, a Republican saying this? A Republican saying that the poor performance that the Republicans had in the midterm elections was fascinating? I mean, we all expected that, and I'll say I'm guilty of this. I expected as we got closer to the election that this was going to be a red wave. Just history and everything else. See, ladies and gentlemen, listen to how these rhinos and people on the left talk about this. Well, we knew we were going to lose the House because history shows that the House flips every time a new president comes in. If it's a Republican president, well, the Democrats are going to take over the House. If it's a Democrat president, and see, we was expecting this red wave of all these Republicans coming out. And no, ladies and gentlemen, to be honest with you, the American people don't like what's going on in Washington. And I can't even say that either. Look, we just got the House and we didn't even win the Senate. We're probably going to be a 50-50 Senate. But anyway, let's continue. But I think the January 6th committee, even if people don't vote on the issue, is kind of popped the bubble, so to speak. So people started feeling uneasy. I think that Paul Pelosi's attack, and I think the Dobbs decision and some other things, and Gen Z turned out, and we had a bit of a defense of democracy. And it's just the beginning. Adam Kinzinger, do me a favor. Go be Democrat. Because you're not talking like a Republican. You're talking like a Democrat. And this is how Liz Cheney sounds. And look, Bill Cassidy. Now, I'm not going to say Bill Cassidy's all the way Democrat. He's a rhino. He guess you could say he's a moderate Republican, but he's a rhino. I'm going to call him a rhino. But like Mitt Romney and Lisa Murkowski, who squeezed by to win in Alaska, or so-called might win in Alaska. She's barely holding on to the lead when she was down God knows how many points at the beginning of it. But anyway, it's just, I have my opinions on that. Anyway, but Adam Kinzinger So happy that a red wave didn't happen. Ladies and gentlemen, this man, no, the only reason probably he is a Republican is probably because he couldn't win any other way. See, look, this is how do I know this? It's because of Louisiana politics. There is some people that are claiming to be Republican in the legislation of the state, and they don't vote Republican. Every chance they get, they vote blue. But we gotta work with the Democrats, and that's their excuse. Adam Kinzinger just showed, and I knew this before. This is why he went on the January 6th committee. He hated Trump, and he's a Democrat. Same thing with Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney is a Democrat. I'm sorry for all you fans that like Liz Cheney, if there is some out there. But this proved to me right here, this man, he's happy. Or in his words, let me go find his words. And we had a bit of a defense against democracy, and it's just the beginning. In his words, I'm trying to find it. He said it's fantastic. Yeah, it was fantastic. Oh, he's so excited that the Republicans did not do well. This is coming from a Republican, and this is the Republicans we need to get out. What's sad is, like I said, the reason he didn't run, he said he was district out. But I think if he would have won, he wouldn't have. If he would have ran, he wouldn't have run anyway. All right, so let's talk about Mike Pence. So Mike Pence has been going all over. I mean, literally all over. He's been on Fox News. I don't know if he's been on Newsmax. I doubt he's been on that. But he had a town hall the other night. And now this is CNN. CNN has in the past leaned more one way than the other. But they had Mike Pence on there, and Mike Pence's first question was if he was going to, I think it's for one of his first questions, was if he was going to support Donald Trump in the 2024 election. And he made a quote. And he's basically what he said, it is time for new leadership. Former Vice President Mike Pence said Wednesday during a CNN town hall event that it is time for new leadership when asked about President Donald Trump's 2024 presidential run. Pence said, "Let me just say that it was a great honor for me to be part of the Trump-Pence administration. In 4 short years, we brought back the economy." I'm gonna say it like that. Unleash America's energy, appointed conservatives to our courts at every level, but in the end, our administration did not end well. And I write about this in my book, but as I've traveled across the country and over the last year and a half, one thing I've heard over and over again, whether it is the grocery store in Indiana or traveling around the country, is people want us to get back to the policies of the Trump-Pence administration. He continued, they want to see America strong and prosperous and advancing politics that we advance, policies that we advance that left America more secure, and 7 million American jobs created. But other things that I've heard constantly, that American people are looking for new leadership that will unite our country around a higher ideals, leadership that will reflect the severity and respect that most Americans have for one another. So Pence says, he says, I think we have a better chance, but better chances than my old running mate. I think America longs to go back to the policies that we were working for American people. I think it's time for new leadership in our country. It will bring us together. Now, if you listen to Mike Pence, and look, somewhat I do agree. I've said this for a while, and people get upset at me that, oh, you think that Donald Trump should not run. And look, I've said this. If Donald Trump is the nominee for the Republican Party, I would vote for him tomorrow. I would. But ladies and gentlemen, I do think it's time for somebody else. I think Donald Trump's role should be like a lot of other presidents, like Barack Obama right now. Barack Obama can't run no more. But Barack Obama pushes his party's agenda, and he goes ahead and pushes his political partners. Now, I agree with Barack Obama and his agenda? No, but Barack Obama is on the side, and he's trying to advance the agenda that he couldn't get to in the White House, and that's by pushing his favorite candidates. I think Trump should do the same thing. Now, there's someone in my party right now that says, no, we shouldn't do that because, like Paul Ryan, I had an article from Paul Ryan saying that he is a Trump never again person now. They don't want Trump in there because they believe Trump lost these elections or his candidates. That's why he's not going for Herschel Walker. He's pushing Herschel Walker, but every other Republican is as well. Anyway, but do I think we need time for new leadership? Absolutely. Especially after the midterm. The common ground, it don't matter if it was Mitch McConnell's fault or Donald Trump's fault. The candidates that we put up did not perform well. So we need to do something different. We need to put more candidates that are more attracted to the Republican Party and to our message. Not because your wife liked the guy on TV. That's just go. Now, he was also asking, this is what I got from this right here. During this town hall meeting, they asked Vice President Pence about Donald Trump and the January 6th incident. And look, his family was in there. And look, we were all worried. I'm going to be honest with you. When I seen the Capitol, I didn't think about Mike Pence at the beginning, but I was like, wow, they're jamming the Capitol. This is bad. I'm just emotions going through my head. But Mike Pence was in there with his family. I found this out through this town hall. Now, does Mike Pence hold Donald Trump responsible? Yes, he can. He might think that Donald Trump was at fault for that. But now him and Donald Trump have talked. Now they was all these people stayed away. They were all this right here, and he talked about a time. This is all in the video, by the way. I have all the links. I just didn't put the videos up, and for the sake of time, I won't be able to get to it as much. But he makes a point in the town hall that, look, Donald Trump, in a couple of days after, he said he felt Donald Trump was remorse. He said him and Donald Trump did not agree with each other, but they part their ways, they're friends and whatnot. Now, on this note, Pence has been held up by the January 6th committee, and they've been praising him because his people has been working. But Pence calls the January 6th most difficult day, but won't testify to House panel. It was Pence said, the most difficult day of my public life. I thought it was important as vice president that I offer my advice and my counsel to the president confidently, and we did. Pence said his role that day when Trump and other allies and with the then president tried to convince him to launch an unconstitutional bid to block and overturn the election results. Trump did do that. Trump asked him if he could send some electoral votes back to the states. Pence said his decision to ignore Trump's entry was rooted in something deeper than his relationship. And Pence, they go ahead and quote Pence, but Pence says he will not testify in front of the January 6th committee. Why is that big? Because the January 6th committee, it was kind of using this as a pedestal to say, look, the vice president is going to convict. Now, January 6th committee pushed back on Pence closing the door on his potential testimony. The House Select Committee investigating January 6th on Wednesday pushed back on former Vice President Mike Pence's reaction comment that Congress has no right to his testimony and he was closing the door on it. Means he was done. Now the January 6th Committee is, I can't believe he's gonna. They were hoping Mike Pence would turn on his former running mate, which, if you could tell, I think Mike Pence is still a little bit loyal. Now, Mike Pence said a lot of other things, and I wish I had more time to go into it, but he also says, I'm not going to get to that part. That he said something that Trump asked him to violate his oath of office of the Constitution on January 6th. There's some people that use the Thomas Jefferson incident back in the day, but this is something I will say about Mike Pence. And this is what I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched bits and pieces. I think Mike Pence is a godly man. I think he went according to his convictions. Agree or disagree with it. That's up to you, the listener. But Mike Pence said something that it is called me. He said, I'm closing the door on that. He's done with that. He's done with January 6th. He's done with the Pence-Trump era. He's done with it. I think if Donald Trump would call and ask him to run again, he'd probably tell him no. And that is his conviction. Now, this is what I'm going to say about Mike Pence and this thing right here. And look, he has made some other statements past that. But Mike Pence went according to his convictions, and I got to admire him for that. But I see Mike Pence has forgiven Trump. And he even says he prays for Trump. If Trump called him, he talked to him all day long. Now, this goes, like I said, against his convictions, the January 6th committee and all this stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, Mike Pence, look, I don't have nothing against him. Do I think he's going to run for president and win? Nope. Because I think there's still a lot of Republicans, and especially MAGA Republicans, that think he betrayed this nation. After watching this and seeing clips like this, I think Mike Pence did what he thought was right, and I have to commend him for that. At least he did. So, look, I'm not gonna say like, look, I had harsh words, and I have to apologize, and I have to ask the Lord to forgive me for that. But Mike Pence right here proved a lot of things against the January 6th committee, and he's doing what he thought was best. Now, you can not agree to disagree. That's what I'm seeing on here. Oh, you didn't hear Trump's side. Well, we don't know what side. All I know is this interview right here debunked a lot of things that the mainstream media was trying to push, that they were diverse, they didn't want to talk to each other, and Mike Pence put all that to bed. And he said, look, it's done with. Let's look forward to the future. And I agree with Mike Pence on that. Look, ladies and gentlemen, 2020 is done. 2022 is done. The midterm, well, we still got Herschel Walker and Ralph Warnock running, coming up in December 6th, which is only 2 short weeks away. So the midterms are still here. But we have a future to look to. We have 2024 to look to. And we have to make sure that we have the right candidates in that spot. Now, if Donald Trump wins the nomination, well, that means more Republicans wanted him than they wanted someone else. But we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. On that note, I want to thank you for listening to the Cajun Conservative Show. It is an honor and a blessing, as always, to be with y'all guys. I am thankful for you guys. And please have a happy Thanksgiving. Please spend time with your family. Please cherish the moments you have with them. And please put God first and thank him for the wonderful year. As I said, 2 years strong, ladies and gentlemen. We're still going on. So with that note, I want to thank you again. Please remember, Jesus Christ is coming back, and he's coming back soon. So don't be faint of heart, because Jesus has overcome the world. If you want to know Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior, please reach out to me. I'll tell you how to make Jesus your Savior and make heaven your eternal home. Until next time, be blessed, be encouraged. You have a good week. See you next time.